Hello everyone, welcome to another review comparison video. This time between the Fellow Stagg EKG and the new Saki Gooseneck that's a little bit newer to the arena. There's plenty of in-depth review videos on both these kettles. My goal is to help you make an educated and informed decision on which kettle is right for you in less than 5 minutes or so. So, Fellow's been around for a long time. Their kettles range from about $165 upwards north of $200, and that just depends on if you want a wood handle, a normal handle, or you want additional features in the control panel or software, etc. The Saki Gooseneck only really has one option at this time, and that's their Gooseneck base model. I've been using both these kettles for quite a long time. Obviously, I've been using this for a few years. This has been my favorite kettle by far. Though recently after using this, I was quite impressed and thought it was worthy of a video. This is noticeably cheaper than the Fellow, so keep that in mind. Fellow's a 0.09 liter. This is a 1.0 liter, slightly larger capacity. Also, the Saki is slightly heavier than the Fellow. The control base on the Fellow is very nice and small and very minimal. Has nice clicking buttons, a click when you change the dial. To some people that's really important and intuitive. Those bass controls I actually quite like, and I like the compactness of the bass. Both bases are made out of plastic. Very easy to switch to Celsius and Fahrenheit on the back. Luckily on this one as well. You move over to the Saki, there's a few additional notes we should think about as well. The base is larger. If you want to switch it to Celsius and Fahrenheit, you have to press down 2 buttons. This is a touchscreen panel. It's a little quirky. You don't get those nice little clicks when you change the temperature. You do get a lot of beeps, which you can turn on and off. But sometimes just hitting those buttons will take a little getting used to. I do like the more confirmation when I'm clicking or changing something, which this doesn't quite have. Those are the bases. Now if we move on to the kettles themselves, this is where it gets quite interesting. The Saki, this can go to a slow to a fast pour, much faster than the Fellow. So I like that variety of flexibility from slow to fast. I like that more than the Fellow. Also, the heat vent is permanently located on the outside of the lid, always in a designated location. As a person who uses my right hand, that's super helpful when you hold the kettle and reach for the lid to add in more water. Now, if you're left-handed, that actually might be uncomfortable, but you might prefer something like the Fellow where you can move the vent hole. But I particularly like that feature a lot because I'm not burning myself when I'm reaching the lid. This has a soft close lid. I didn't realize how much I liked that until I started using it. There's no sounds or clanky sounds when I'm opening and closing the lid. However, in order for them to do that, they had to put a silicone rubber gasket around the lid. But I love that feature. Inside, there is no noticeable silicone or plastic whatsoever in the Saki Gooseneck. If you move over to the Fellow, you'll notice a very tiny silicone ring around the temperature gauge down there at the bottom. So a very small amount, but there is a small amount towards the base. This doesn't have it, but it does have that rubber gasket in the lid. So with all of those things to notice, I think I enjoy the top portion of this kettle a lot more in terms of functionality and the lid and the venting. Awesome. I still enjoy the wood handle and how I hold this grip. Right, it's almost a little bit off to the side. Again, nice balance thing there. This I have to hold a little bit more. It's not as comfortable or intuitive. You can definitely get used to it pretty easily. The counterbalance is great. It's a little bit heavier of a kettle. Then you come down to the base. I think I like this click button a little bit more than this. However, I like that unique red LED that this has, unique atmosphere. So when you're making this decision, you kind of just have to come down to, at this price point, which is more affordable than the Fellow, I like the wood handle. So that's a substantial jump. So is the wood handle and the intuitive control panel worth the extra almost 40 some, 50 some dollars, where I can get a lot of the same features, more flexibility in the pouring, nice controlled vent, soft lid, with a rubber heat resistant grip here, is that trade-off worth it? So I think if you want a more affordable premium kettle, this will do everything you want it and more. If you're more of a sensitive to the materials being used with the wood, the nice clicking and compact bass, you're willing to pay a premium for that, the Fellow may be your go-to. Now for me, I'm actually going to continue to use both of these kettles because I quite like them. This slow to fast pour is probably going to be a big deal breaker for me in a good way, because then I can use it for raw and ripe more easily. Where with the Fellow, I had the Stagg EKG Gooseneck and the Corvo kettle because I wanted to slow pour, I wanted to fast pour, etc. So we'll see kind of how things plan out, but hopefully that'll be enough information for you all to make an educated and informed decision on what makes better sense for you as a tea drinker. But I think this is a very good, affordable, premium kettle option that has entered the market. You can find links to both these kettles down below. Also, let me know your feedback, your experience with these kettles, and which one you prefer for your own tea drinking. Until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Take care.